Here we go again, baby. 2 weeks removed from my biggest cash game win ever. I'm heading back to California Grand. It's Saturday night. I'm gonna try to repeat my performance, maybe even one up at this time. I'm on the 1530 list. I got lots of profit I'm working with, so I'm feeling good. Had a fun, chill day at the pool. My mind is clear, and I'm ready to win lots of money tonight. As before, I have some coffee. It's 7:33 at night. I have about a half a cup. It really helped me stay focused and not get fatigued. So I'm on my way to the California Grand, and let's run it up and build some chips, baby. Let's win 1,000 again. That'd be sweet. All right, later. What's going on? It is about 10:15. I just played for about 2.5 hours. I bought in for 800, and there are basically 3 big hands that I'm going to break down. It was an up and down little night for 2.5 hours. About a half hour in, 2 huge hands came up back to back, put me up 600 instantly, and I kind of just smooth sailing from there. I came down, back down about 400 to up 200, and then I won one more pot after that, and I just finished up netting 448 bucks. So it's a nice solid couple hours. So here's some hand breakdowns and checking in a bit. Okay, here we go. So I started with 800 and I built it up $200, so I'm sitting $1 under 1,000 to start this hand, and I'm on the button. I have 10 9 of spades. It's a beautiful hand. Great hand for a limit poker game where there's a lot of action. You can make straights, flushes. So there's a bunch of calls into me. I raised to 30 bucks, juiced the pot up. So the pot is $210 to see the flop. Flop comes queen, 9, 3, rainbow. So I flop second pair and 3 to a straight. So I have that as a backdoor. Everyone checks to me. I bet $15. We get a fold, a call, a call, a call, fold, and a fold. So at this point, it's about, in my mind, it's 50-50 whether I have the best hand or not. I might have the best hand with the 9 and people are on draws. Someone might have a queen. Definitely not a big queen like ace queen or any sort of set, because they certainly would have check raised me or just let out. A lot of people do that with a big hand. So turn comes out, 9 of hearts. Beautiful heart, beautiful card for me. I just hit trips. So it checks to me. I bet 30, call, call, fold. So at this point, I'm very confident I have the best hand. If anyone had me beat, I certainly would have heard from them by now. So they're just check calling. I figure it's pretty likely someone does have a queen now that they're calling, and I probably just got lucky to hit the three nines. Certainly someone could have another 9, but I'm not really too scared about it because I feel like they would have raised me. So just to be safe, I spike the 10 ball on the river, make 9s full of 10s. They check to me. I have a full house. I bet 30, get 1 call. I show them basically the nuts, show them the full house, take down the pot, and that's a beautiful hand for me. So that was a huge pot, $400 plus. So with $5 chips, that's about 80 chips that I'm racking in. Literally the very next hand, I have a huge stack of chips. I have chips spread out all in front of me. I'm trying to stack them as fast as I can. My hands are shaking a little because of this huge pot I just won. The very next hand, I look down, I get 2 red aces. It's crazy. I'm like, well, I guess I'm playing this hand. So I stop stacking my chips. It goes call, raise into me. So it's 30 to go. I grab 9 chips, make it 45. Fold, fold, call, call. So 3 players to see the flop, and I have position. So the flop comes out 9, 7, 6. Pretty happy with this flop. I mean, it's not the best flop ever, but I'm still pretty confident I'd have the best hand. But then I have to see what the action that unfolds looks like. So they check to me. I bet 15. Seat 2, check raises me to 30. So that's going to put me in a spot. I'm not sure if my aces are good. They probably are, but he could have flopped a straight. He could have some funky 2 pair like 9-7 suited, 6-7 suited. So in this game, because it's a pretty big game compared to what I normally play, I take the cautious route in spots like this. I don't go crazy and re-raise just in case he did flop a set. I want to save those extra bets because those really add up for me. I play a tight game and I pick my spots wisely. So he check raises me to 30. The other guy folds, I call. So the turn comes out, a king, not scary for me. He leads out again, I call again. At this point, the pot has 280. The river comes a 6. So this is an interesting card. So if he flopped the straight, I was beat. I'm not folding at this point. I'm going to make that perfectly clear. In a limit game, if you have the aces and they flop a straight, you just have to call them down. If there were more than one person in the pot and they were betting and raising, then that's a spot where you consider throwing your aces away. But the interesting thing about this card is if he had 9s and 7s on the flop, 2 pair, which is very possible, I just drew him out. I would now have aces and 6s with a better 2 pair. So it's actually a good card for me. I mean, if he had like 7-6 and he made a boat, what do you do? There's nothing you can do about it. So I'm actually more confident with this call on the river than I was on the turn, because it's more likely that I have the best hand. And with the 6 coming out there, the more cards that are on the board, the less likely they have that in their hand. So he bets, I call. He had 7-8. So the story makes sense. He flopped middle pair and an open-ended straight draw, which is a great hand. Honestly, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have check raised because that's a huge hand. You have middle pair, open-ended draw. I just happen to have aces, and lucky for me, he had the hand that I could beat. So I took down another pot for $340, back-to-back pots, instantly put me up $600. So after those back-to-back hands, I was up 600. I played for probably about just under 2 hours longer, about an hour and a half longer. And the cards didn't go my way. I flopped, I'd get delta pair, tried to flop a set, missed, had to fold. I'd flop a flush draw, stay down, fold when I missed. So those little pots, $40 here, $60 here. It's definitely a swingy game. I'm definitely happy that I won those 2 big pots early, so I have room for my stack to go up and down. So I was getting close to getting out of there. I didn't really want to play too long. I just wanted to put in a couple hours. So I was up $200, and right before I got up, this last hand came up. So I was dealt my absolute favorite hand on planet Earth, 10-8 of diamonds. Why, you ask, is 10-8 of diamonds my favorite hand? Well, let's go back to 2004, back when I was just starting to get into poker. The real reason I got into poker was I caught the World Poker Tour, Gus Hansen, the very first episode, bluffing his way. He won 2 titles, season 1. And then they had a Bad Boys of Poker tournament, and him and Antonio Esfandiari got in a big pot. And after this video, if you go to the link in my comments section, I have a link to the entire hand. It's a great hand. It's one of my favorite hands in the history of my television watching days. And it just has great memories. And Gus Hansen's my favorite player. So ever since then, anytime I get 10-8 of diamonds, I just have that feeling that I'm going to win a big pot. Just good vibes come with it. So back to the hand. I have 10-8 of diamonds on the button. Guy in early position raises to 30 bucks. Get a call. Fold, fold, call. I call, call. So there's 6 players to see the flop. Once again, these suited connectors are exactly the hands you want in a big multi-way pot in a limit game, because there's so much potential. So the flop comes out 6-3 deuce with 1 diamond. The big blind bets, seat 9 folds, fold, call to my right. So now I have an interesting decision. So there's 180 in the pot pre-flop. There's another 30 here, so there's $210 in the pot, and it only cost me $15 to call. I don't have anything, but I have some backdoor potentials. It's likely that these guys have no pair. They could have ace king, ace queen, 2 overcards. That it's not necessarily likely that they have a pair. So I could potentially hit, I could hit a 7 to make an open-ended straight draw. I could hit a diamond, which would then give me a flush draw, or I might be able to hit an 8 or a 10. So my reasoning here for calling is cost me $15. There's $210 in the pot, so I'm getting huge pot odds. And because there's 2 guys in there already, if I happen to make a big hand, I will get paid off, versus if it was heads up, if one guy just let out and everyone else folded, I'd probably just fold. There's no point in staying in, but the more people that are in there, the better chance you could win a big pot, which is exactly what I was hoping to do here. So I decided to make the call, see what happens on the turn. If I don't hit anything, I'm out of here. So the turn was definitely an interesting card. Queen of diamonds gives me my flush draw. So he leads out again. Seat 4 calls. It's a pretty easy call for me at this point. There's, $300 in the pot. I'm getting just under 10-1 odds on my money. And the odds of hitting the flush draw are, I don't know the exact math, but let's say it's like 15 to 20%. So if the odds of hitting your card are bigger than the pot odds you're getting, it's always mathematically correct to call, especially in limit. It's a game of math. So that's how you stay ahead of these guys. So if you're getting good odds to make a call, and the odds of you hitting your hand are better than those odds to make the call, it's always correct to make the call. The river is a beautiful 4 diamonds. I was just saying to myself, diamond, diamond, diamond. So you can see at this point, if I would have lost this pot, I was at 933, so I'm basically booking a $100 win. But at this point, I know I'm just money, and it puts 4 to a straight out there. Like, you can't ask for a better flush than when 4 to a straight go out there. So seat 7 checks. Seat 8 decides to lead out for 30. So I'm like, well, maybe he has the 5. He could have been staying with a straight draw and a pair or something funky like that. So clearly my only move here is to raise. Seat 7 by checking shows weakness, so he probably didn't have a pair. He was probably just betting with like ace jack, ace king, and decided to give up. So I raised to 60 bucks here. Seat 7 gets out of the way. Seat 4 sits there for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. He's just trying to figure out. He says out loud, "There's no way you're bluffing here." And he finally decides to fold, so I take down the nice pot. So my boy Gus Hansen had my back on this hand, made the backdoor flush, took down the $400 pot. Sweet. So yeah, it's a nice solid win, and I'm gonna head home and got a nice Sunday plan with the family tomorrow. So until next time, short little video, but hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, you never know when another cash game pops up. All right, see you next time.